everyone, how's it going? This is Bobby here with Florida Man Touring, and this should be my first video if everything goes as planned. And what I'd like to do is just kind of describe what I'm planning on doing with the channel and what bike I'm on and the current path I'm on. So what I'm trying to do is basically do each video as like a different route. Focus on mainly touring and just kind of have a map laid out of the specific route and just show you guys what's on each route. If you're not from this area, if you're moving to this area, you can kind of see the roads in this area and the environment that you can be riding in and different things. Up on our right here is Juana's Pagodas. Really good. They got alcohol if you're into mixed drinks and whatnot, and their Pagoda burger is really good. And straight ahead is going to be Navarre Beach. They got a pier there. It's also a very good surf location. See a guy here with a board. I don't know if there's any surf out today, but this is not the original route I was planning on taking for you can call it first video, but this is probably my 5th attempt at getting a video made. And I did this last week, and originally I was going to go up north, up near we're in Fort Walton Beach area, by the way. Fort Walton Beach, it's probably around 12 a.m. In the afternoon, and it's actually not bad outside. It's a little warm, but it's not horrible once you start moving and getting some air. It is 2025 September 13th, Saturday. But this is not the original route I was planning on taking. What I was going to do is go up a route that I actually take a lot, up above the intercoastal there. You take 20 through Niceville, and it's actually really nice. However, what I realized about that route is that it's basically 40 minutes of riding just to get on maybe a 10-minute stretch of road that I actually care to ride. So this I ended up taking just out of circumstance last weekend on Saturday, going to Cycle Gear because I realized for this bike, 2003 Goldwing GL 1800, Honda doesn't really work on it, at least not the Honda in this area, and I need to get oil, which I could only get from Cycle Gear. So I ended up taking this route, and I actually tried to make a video. However, I think the GoPro drains battery if it's just sitting there with the battery in, because I noticed I had the thing fully charged and it ended up dying about halfway through it, and I record the audio separately, so I had like a half video where the rest of it was all audio, and it sucked because I thought it came out really good for a first video, and I said everything I wanted to say and saw everything that I wanted to see for this particular route, but the video cut out. There was a beeping like halfway through, and I realized, oh my god, I just lost all of that. So we're trying it again this weekend, and hopefully this time will work, because I don't really have any other time besides right now. The rest of my weekend will be spent doing Calculus 3 homework, unfortunately. But anyways, this route goes from the bridge there in Navarre, and it'll take you all the way to Pensacola, and it's just a really beautiful, I actually think it's some sort of park, some sort of preserve type thing. It's just basically a road through the dunes, and there's a few stops off the side. You get to see the water. You can surf there if you want. I don't really surf there. I surf Navarre Pier back there. There's just a lot less people out here, and there's no lifeguard, so if something goes wrong, you are on your own. But still, anyways, it's a beautiful area. You come out, swim, do whatever you want, fish. Especially at night, you come out here at night and stop at a few of these stops, and it's really nice, especially when the weather starts cooling off. And we're stuck behind a garbage truck. Very nice. I'm considering the sidewalk. Probably shouldn't. I bet that must be a miserable job, especially in the summer. Anyway, it's a lot of really nice stops. You go out, see the water, especially once it starts getting a little colder. A lot of really nice houses along this route. And there's kind of a park, RV park in the center of this road between here and Pensacola that you can stop, and if you have an RV or something, spend a few days there. Pretty cool. And it's honestly really, really nice out here. It's a beautiful day. Definitely happy I can get out. I wonder if I could pass this guy. Well, anyways, currently on a 2003 Goldwing GL 1800. Picked it up for about $6,000 a couple weeks ago. I had sold a 2000, maybe 2001 Mazda Miata, and was originally just going to cram the money in my savings, but I've ridden throughout my life, like all the way back till I was either 16 or 18. Started on a big Suzuki Intruder, heavy bike. It was my dad's bike. He passed down to me, and I've been kind of spotty throughout my entire life riding. Whenever I have a bike, I ride all the time, but I've gotten out of them. I ended up selling the Intruder just because it was carbureted, so it was having carbureted issues. I've had a Street Glide, Harley Street Glide. I've ridden a Road Glide, a few different road glides. Been on some sports bikes. Had a Z900, a pretty quick little bike. Beat basically everyone I raced on the road. And now I'm on this. I sold the Miata and had about $4,000 from that, and was kind of sitting around looking through. And I wasn't planning on getting anything. I was just browsing. But the bike that I'm on right now is the one that really turned me on getting back into riding. I saw this bike, and it was just a really good price, and I like the Goldwings, and for the price, I mean, in comparison, one of the reasons I got rid of my Harley was just the monthly payment. I'm always paying on the thing every month, and I just got tired of that, so I got out from under that and stopped riding for a few years, and then I just recently started looking, and I found this thing. I saw this thing, and it kind of opened my eyes, like, oh, I could get something. So I messaged this guy, and he didn't get back to me, and then I kind of already opened myself up to getting a bike after that point, so I'm like, okay, let me look around. And then I ended up trying to look at 7 different bikes, sending people messages, and had someone with a BMW. It was a really nice bike, 2015 BMW S1000R, which is like their naked bike, really, really powerful, kind of upright seated sports bike, not a lot of fairing or anything, and it was a BMW, so it was kind of cool. It had heated grips and everything, and I think I looked it up, it was like 160 horsepower, so significantly more powerful than my Z900, and I'm like, yeah, when I was looking, like, I didn't really care what kind of bike I got, even though I do like, even with the Harley, like, I've taken that thing across the state of Florida. Like, I enjoy riding that kind of long distance, and then you can really go wherever you want with it. But a couple weeks ago, I didn't really care. I was just looking for a good deal. There's the water. Absolutely gorgeous in this area. I might even go surfing after this, but I do have math homework. I also have priorities, though, and surfing takes the cake. Anyways, I messaged the S1000R guy, and he was one of the guys that got back to me. Not everyone got back to me. I probably only had 3 people get back to me, and there was a Yamaha, which I normally don't go after Yamaha cruisers. It was a V-twin, I think 1600, but the guy had put a lot of money into it, and it was like garage kept. It was beautiful, like all white and chrome. Looked better than some Harleys. Normally, if I'm looking for a V-twin, I'm just looking for a Harley, but I saw that bike, messaged him. He was like, yeah, I'm going out of town, so you won't be able to look at it. You can look at it in a couple weeks. I'm like, okay. But the S1000R guy came back to me, and he said, yeah, man, come look at it. And I'm like, okay, cool. He wanted 65, and it kind of had a lot of miles. I don't know, 33,000, but it was a newer bike, 2015, in comparison to the ones I was looking at. So, it just means it's been nerding. That doesn't mean anything bad. Typically for sports bikes, I don't like over 20,000 miles, or even for Harleys, I don't like over 20,000 miles. But it was a beautiful looking bike. So I said, yeah, I'll go see it. He was up in Crestview, so I drove all the way up to Crestview to go look at this, and he didn't want me to ride it, which was understandable. I didn't let anyone ride my Z900 when I was selling it. So he did say, like, he started up for me. He said, I'll ride it for you. You can follow behind me. I'm like, okay, cool. Follow behind him, and the bike was, I really liked it. I really liked it. I thought I was going to get it. And then we got back to the Publix we were stopped at. I'm like, so 6,500? He's like, yep, 65. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, we just got to run to the bank, and then you can pay the bank, and you'll get the title in a couple days. I stopped. I'm like, wait a minute, what? You don't have the title? He's like, no, I'm paying on the bike. So basically, you just have to give me the money, and then I'll go pay the bike off, and then in a couple days, you'll get the title. And I kind of stopped. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I didn't ask him. I forgot. I saw it. It was such a nice bike, and I kind of got ahead of myself. I'm like, you don't own the bike. The bank owns it, which I guess is something like you can actually do. I ended up talking to my buddy after that, and he was telling me, like, no, they should be able to print the title out in your name at the bank, and you'll get it the same day. And if that was the case, if I knew that, or if my buddy was there to tell me that, and if that's what they would have actually done, I would have bought the bike. But he was saying I would have got it in 2 days, and I was like, no, man, I don't want to do that. It's going to be 2 days of sitting there pulling my hair out, wondering whether or not I just got scammed. And I don't think he was trying to scam me. He seemed like a nice guy, but at the same time, I don't know you, and I don't want to deal with that. And by this point, the Goldwing guy had actually gotten back to me, and I told him, I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's great, but I already set up an appointment. I already set up a meeting to go see this S1000R. Now here's the park. I think it's called Opal Beach. You get some RVs there. You can kind of park there, and then you can also go on the intercoastal side. It is really beautiful in this area if you want to come out and swim. If you have a group to come out, I want to say they have grills and stuff here too. They might have developed this more because I don't remember those coverings over there. Anyways, I told the guy, like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I wanted to give the guy money and then leave with the title. The same thing I did with my Miata. So I ended up telling him no, and then the Goldwing guy had gotten back to me, but I told him no because I was going up to see this S1000R, and I thought I was going to get it. So the S1000R didn't work, and I was driving back, like, I don't know, $7,000 in my pocket. And I'm like, I could probably just go cram this in my account and forget about it and revisit the whole motorcycle thing next year. But I figured, like, I saw this Goldwing. This is just a beautiful bike, the one I'm on right now. It's just gorgeous, and it was garage kept and everything, and you could tell by the pictures on Facebook, like, this thing was gorgeous. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm gonna message this guy, see if he gets back to me. So I messaged him. I didn't get anything back. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna go grab food. I'm gonna go cram this money in the bank, and I'll be sitting really good in the savings account, and I'll revisit the whole bike thing in a year. and I'll get something eventually. But I was sitting there at Robinson's drive-through, grabbing a chicken taco, really good place. And the guy got back to me. He was like, "Hey, I noticed you're interested in bike." I'm like, "Yeah. Is there any way I can come see it today?" He's like, "Well, I got an eye doctor appointment, but I'm free after like 4 o'clock." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." He's like, "But have you ever ridden a big bike before?" Apparently, he had someone around my age go look at it, but he didn't know how to handle a big bike. I think it was like his first bike, and he was looking around. He saw the Goldwing, and so he showed up, and he could tell like this guy didn't know what he was doing, so he didn't let him test drive it, and he was like, "Yeah, like not that you shouldn't be on a bike this big if you're starting out, as I started out on like an 800-pound bike. However, you should have someone there who knows how to ride a larger bike, who can move it around from you, and just take it to a safe spot where you can get on it in a parking lot and kind of practice turning and everything. Because once you figure it out, it's like riding a bicycle. Yeah, I mean, I haven't ridden in 2 years, and I got up on this thing like I was riding yesterday. So he's asking me, "So can you ride a larger bike? Have you ever been on a larger bike?" And I'm like, yeah, I've been on. First bike, like I said, was like 800 pounds. So I had that, and then I had a Street Glide, a full dresser. I wasn't a full dresser at the time, but I turned it into a full dresser. I put the tour pack and everything on the back. I've been on that. I've been on Road Kings. Like, it's like, yeah, man, like, trust me, I can ride it. And he was like, "Okay, well, I'm really not interested in negotiating the price." And I'm like, "That's fine. I'm fine with the price you have posted, man. I'll bring you. I got the cash in my pocket. I can meet you in an hour." He's like, "Okay, come see it." Really nice guy. He was an older guy. I think in his like 70s. I'm still in really good shape for 70s, but he was just having a problem with the weight of the bike. Start getting older, and this is like one of the heaviest bikes they make. So I told him, like, I'm still young. I'll still be young for a long time, so I'll take it off your hands. And he didn't really even want to sell it. So I ended up taking it for a test drive, and I got back. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, this is exactly what I'm looking for." So I ended up giving him the money, $6,000, signed the title over, and then I think the next day I went to the DMV, got it registered and everything in my name, and that was maybe a month ago. And now I'm here. And actually, he had told me that there was something wrong, either with the valve stem or something like that. He had this Bluetooth tire pressure monitor on it, and he had told me about it, told me it was leaking, and I thought it was a slow leak, and I think he did too. But on the way back, he said he would follow me back and just give me a ride back so I could pick up my car, because I didn't have anyone to bring me to drop me off. So I'm like, all right, yeah, that works. And we start riding, and I got curious. The tire pressure monitor was actually sitting in the cup holder, and it's like Bluetooth. It threads onto the valve stems, and I saw it. He had filled it up to like 36 psi, and I pick it up, I'm looking at it, and it was down to like 29. I'm like, oh wow, that's concerning. So I kind of like looked at it. I'm kind of like holding it like this while I'm trying to ride. First time I was riding in a while, so it's kind of difficult. And I'm looking at it, and it's like 28.9. I'm like, oh and then 28.8. I'm like, oh my god. It started dropping, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. Like, I'm gonna have to get a tow truck for this thing. But I ended up making it. I almost pulled off into a gas station, but I said, no, I'm gonna push through. I think I can make it. By the time I got back to the house, it was like 16 psi. So I kind of, the first week of this thing was me trying to figure out, no one would work on this thing, and Honda wouldn't work on it, and then most of these other repair shops, they won't work on anything older than 10 years, which, I cannot kind of understand for a 20-year-old bike that's, if it's been sitting out in the rain, it's destroyed. Like, I don't want to work on it. But this thing, it's like garage kept. It's like you could confuse this for a brand new bike if you didn't know what you were looking at. So no one work on it, or at least the one shop that I found that could work on it. It would have been like a month before they could get it in just to change the valve stem. So I'm like, no, I'll figure it out myself. I ended up figuring it out myself, and just there's a trick where you can like clamp down on the tire and push it in enough to gain access to put the valve stem in the back. But I did that, got the valve stem in, and then I think I changed the spark plugs, and I just finished doing the oil earlier this morning, and now it's running great. It's got about 42,000 miles on it. Everything works, radio works, and it's got these beautiful like highway floorboards, I guess you'd call them. I absolutely need these. I won't have a bike, at least a long distance bike, without stuff like this. Just to be able to move your leg, you'll start to get aggravating after a while. You'll lose blood flow and everything. You got to be able to move around on these longer trips. This isn't a longer trip. This is maybe take like an hour. But yeah, got these guys on there. Really comfortable, and I've not had a problem with this bike since I got it. And I figured I take a lot of kind of solo longer trips, and might as well get something out of it. So I ended up getting a GoPro, and this is probably my 5th or 6th attempt. And some of those attempts were just tests, just going out there, getting a GoPro and then trying to find a mic that works with it. And I still think my current mic, it's not necessarily meant for this. There's a lot of noise coming from this bike, and as I'm finding out, microphones don't behave well when they're getting overloaded with sound. So I got it like fully adjusted, I guess down as much as I can, and it still might. We'll see how the audio is once I'm done with this. And we'll see. I might end up getting a couple more if people actually start watching the channel. Get a few more GoPros. I know I've seen a few other people on bikes for the YouTube channel, and they got like the 360 cameras and just really nice setup, and you can see a lot of angles, make it really interesting, really immersive. So, but right now I'm just going with the one GoPro, and it appears the battery is still going. I know last time it had quit before we even hit at Opal Beach Park. And for this particular trip, I'll take you over the Pensacola Bridge, go up through there, and then I think we're probably too late for bagel heads. There's a really good bagel place there, but they close at like 1 or something like that. Yeah, maybe we'll get lucky. See what time it is. It would be nice to have a few more cameras, just kind of get like a side view or something, because the dunes out here are really beautiful, especially if you're not from here. I've lived in Florida my whole life, so this is all kind of I'm used to this. But if you're not from Florida, I'm sure this area would be absolutely gorgeous. It's still gorgeous to me, but I'm just used to it. Coming up on Pensacola Beach here shortly. They got a few different restaurants there, and if you go further, you can make it to Fort Pickens. That's also another beautiful leg of the ride. If you just keep going in this direction, west, you'll go to Fort Pickens once you pass the beach there, and then it's a lot like this, really scenic. Probably less people, a little less development, and then you get to the fort. It's a really nice area. It's also a really nice surfing spot. It's like the only beach that faces a different direction. So if the wind isn't cooperating with the direction of the swell, you can go all the way to Fort Pickens, and there's a chance it'll line up. Me and a buddy went there, and it was actually his idea. He was like, oh, let's go there. I'm like, oh, it's like an hour and 30 minutes. But eventually I was like, yeah, whatever, let's go there. And we were driving there, and you could look out like you can right now. We were taking this road. You look out and see it was like a blending machine out there. I mean, just the waves were so choppy, so unorganized, it almost wasn't even worth going out. There was waves, but it was just ridiculously choppy. A wave would pop up, peak, and then vanish. Really frustrating waves for anyone who surfs. They'll understand that. But through this entire length, like, you could look out and just look horrible. And then we pulled up to Fort Pickens, And we must have saw like 10 surfers like getting out of their car, and like we couldn't see the beach yet, so they were like running over the little wall to the fort and then going off to the beach. We're like, okay, this might be something, because I didn't think a single surfer would be out there. It was weird. So we get out there, and we had to park a long way away because all the spots were taken, and we get up over the wall. There must have been 30-40 people surfing out there, and the waves were just clean and gorgeous, curling really. It was really amazing. And it was also, you could kind of choose the height of wave that you wanted, because as it curled around that little piece of land, if you were further west, they kind of got smaller, lost a little power, got a little smaller. Or you could take them head on, and they were big. They were at least big for me, probably about really powerful 5-foot waves. But just another good place to surf there. Navarre is another good one. And then Beach Access 2 in Fort Walton's another one. But I don't think I'm going to go on that particular. I'll make another video for that. And I don't know, maybe show the fort or something like that. I would kind of like to get into kind of like long distance kind of touring, if this channel ends up getting a decent amount of viewers, and just do like kind of cross country in between work and school. And then probably start just kind of like researching the areas, researching the routes, and just kind of give you guys an idea of what's on the routes and different restaurants. And I know I looked at Pensacola just on Google Maps, and there was a lot of really cool kind of old historical areas. And I'll just have to figure out how to, obviously, you know, I'm not going to post an 8-hour ride. I'll have to figure out how to chop it down. So it'll be kind of a learning experience. Chop it down to the most interesting parts, and rather just having an entire documentary of the entire ride, actually turn it into something that's watchable. But we'll see. See how many people end up watching. And hopefully I can put out maybe one video a week on Saturdays, take a little ride, and then for longer rides I'll probably have to take some time off work. Saw a few people out on bikes today. It was a really nice day for it. And we're starting to get, next month it's going to start getting cooler. It's the best time to ride up here. Once it starts getting cold, it's just amazing. Summers here, they're hot. They're really hot, and it's probably kind of cliche. Oh, you go surfing in the summer? No, not really. No, the waves actually kind of die out. We've been in a dry spell. We had one surfable day. I actually think it was this past week, and I was stuck doing homework. And then before that, it's probably a couple weeks, and then before that, we went through like a month, maybe a month and a half, dry spell of no waves. There's just not enough activity in the Gulf until you get a hurricane. You get a hurricane. That's basically what we wait for. Anyone in Florida on the Gulf side who surfs, and just basically sit there and watch the weather whenever there's a hurricane in the Gulf. Typically, it brings the best waves that we get, but it's just, this year it's been a rather uneventful hurricane season. Not that I want a big hurricane, but when there is one, typically before the storm arrives, or maybe it completely passes by you, but it just stirs up a swell, and you'll get really organized, clean waves, especially if the hurricane's far off. The wind won't have like caught up to it yet, so it will form some really clean surfable waves. But we've just not had almost anything in the Gulf. And then when winter comes, it's consistent activity. You won't go more than a couple weeks without waves. I would also in these videos like to go over I guess the rideability of the road, kind of for sports bikes and whatnot. Like I said, I did have a sports bike in the past. It was really fun to hit some corners, and we are in Florida, so it is a lot of straight, flat roads, which is kind of one of the reasons it's probably better I'm on a touring bike, just because if it was trying to be a sports bike channel, it's like, yeah, you can go fast, and that's about it. There's really no crazy twisty roads that you can actually use a sports bike to its full potential. And there is 2 that I know of in this area, and I'll cover those in separate videos. But the rest of the roads here are kind of flat. And then the other thing I also want to do is just kind of like give you guys, maybe if you're thinking about getting a touring bike, just give you an idea of how it actually is. It does get uncomfortable after a period of time when you're sitting in the same position, which is why these highway pegs are very important. You have to move your legs around different positions. Not necessarily that keeping them straight out is good, but the fact that you can put them on there and then move them around, it just lets you get the blood flowing. And then just kind of give you guys an idea of how long or how far into a particular route it starts getting uncomfortable. Like right now, I'm not feeling too bad right now. Nothing's aching yet, and honestly probably won't happen. I know I did take a ride one of the more sports bike orientated roads, kind of in between Fort Walton and I-10, heading east. That one was kind of the first longer ride I've taken. It was, I don't know, 2 hours and 30 minutes, and that one I started getting a little uncomfortable. In fact, after that, I went out and got a half helmet. I'm currently wearing a Neotech 2 modular, and a really nice helmet. However, it's got some weight to it, and it's just a lot more comfortable to have a half helmet on if you're taking a really long ride. Obviously less protection, but a lot more comfortable. You know, coming up on Pensacola Beach, this is actually a really nice area. They got kind of a boardwalk. It is kind of touristy. Then again, like anything on the beach in Florida is touristy. So just be careful. Money wise, I know I spent like $60 on some snow crab legs, and I think it was less than a pound. It was crazy. But they filled it up with potatoes. Had a lot of potatoes, just very little crab legs, and I was hurting for like a couple weeks. That was in my mind, like, man, these people just robbed me. Where the hell are my crab legs? Pensacola Beach, a lot of parking. I have surfed there before. It's an interesting break. I think it's kind of quick. Kind of breaks very quickly, doesn't curl too much. And they got a lot, this side there's a lot. Ron John Surf Shop, there's a lot of fun little touristy places. If you're actually looking for a good surf shop, go to Fluid's a good one in Fort Walton, but Waterboys is actually really cool. They got, if you're also into skating, they got like an indoor kind of skate park. I've done some longboarding, like longboard, skateboard, but not really actually skateboarding in my life. They do, oh, it smells good. Someone's cooking a burger or something. It's a really nice area here. They do have a toll over this bridge. It's weird. It's like $1. It's like $1, and they'll like find you by your plate, and then they'll send you a bill for $1. It's like a bridge toll kind of thing. It's really weird, but like not a bridge toll that really accepts that much money. This one, it's like, why are you coming after me for $1? Why even have it for $1? It's just kind of aggravating, because it's like, if you're ever coming through there, I know I used to like literally have to go find a $1 bill in order to cross the bridge, because it's like they want exact change too. So it's like, just accept a $5 bill. You know, like, come on. I actually don't know what the speed limit is here. I think they'll leave me alone. This bike is, you know, a lot of people view it as like an older person's bike. grandpa's bike, but for a 2003, it moves. I mean, Jesus, my 2011 Harley Heritage 96 cubic inch, that thing could barely keep up on the highway. It did, but I mean, it was like I was all out on that thing in order to go like 90, which is kind of a speed I like to cruise at if I'm on I-10. Just gets through it a little quicker. But this thing will definitely keep up. 6-cylinder motor, liquid cooled. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous out here today. Yeah, I might try to get some surfing, and I don't know. I got a mountain of calculus homework to get through, though. I don't know. I guess I could do it tonight. I'm on a kind of a night shift, 2 p.m. to 10 o'clock. So I'm kind of up later anyways. It kind of fits it just because I'm not up at the crack of dawn. Allow me to use the daylight while it's usable. It was kind of a pretty bad week at work. We had a couple major repairs come through that we had to do that, and then in combination with calculus, it's just it's really no time for me to do any homework, especially after I got off work after a full day. I'm like, nah, yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and do homework right now. I'm gonna have a beer and relax and try to forget about the day. That's a nice little curve here. You lean into this one a little bit. I scraped this thing earlier. I'm getting used to it. That's getting back into it after a couple years of being off. It comes back pretty quickly. This next bridge is pretty nice. Actually a newer bridge. They just built it a couple of years ago, maybe. High school there. That's pretty cool. That'd be an awesome place to go to high school, right next to the beach. A lot of traffic here. You really got to be careful. People pulling out in front of you and switching lanes. There's Chick-fil-A. I stopped there last weekend. I actually got lost last weekend. I ended up going to Cycle Gear, but because the handlebars are square, as I found out on the Gold Wings, you can't put like a normal phone holder. You probably could, but I don't really want to chance it. So I had to memorize my way to Cycle Gear because I've never been there besides in a car with GPS. So I kind of memorized it right, and I got there. I got there fine, and I thought I was going in the right direction on the way back because I passed something that I passed on the way there, and I thought it was just a straight cut. So I really don't know how I got lost, but I ended up riding, and I'm like, there's no way. Like this was a straight shot. Like obviously I messed up at some point. I had no idea where that point was. So started riding and didn't have my phone on there, and I got to a point where I got to the water and I turned left, and the water was on my right side, and it was really nice. Really, it was a decent ride. It was definitely a ride worth taking, but not a ride I was trying to take. So I looked over and I could see some portion of the intercoastal, and I'm like, okay, we're good. Like we're probably in South Pensacola heading east. It turns out that was not the case. So I kept riding, and I would like realize like I should probably pull over and figure out where I am. I'm like, I hope I'm not going north. And I kept going, but the houses were really nice, and it was like a residential area, so there was no place to pull over unless I was pulling over into like some millionaire's yard. So kept going, and eventually I start getting up north, and I could see like a gas station that overlooked a couple bridges, and we were kind of high, I don't know, 50, 60 feet, almost like a little cliff. It was kind of cool. Really, really nice view of the bridges. And I saw the bridges, and I'm like, no way, that's got to be I-10. And then literally in that same couple seconds, I looked up and saw a sign for I-10. I'm like, oh my God. I rode probably 20 minutes out of my way up north, and I'm like, ah. And this was after getting rained on. This was a torrential downpour on the way to Cycle Gear, and then continuing to get rained on more. None of that, I wasn't filming at that time. I had stopped at, well, the GoPro had died, but I had stopped at Bagel Heads and just pulled everything off. This is the other part. This is a really nice view here. A little park down there for fishing, and just vast amount of water in this area. And anyways, I realized I was at I-10, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm not afraid to ride on the highway. It's boring. I don't like riding on the highway. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm turning around, and I'm going to ride 20 minutes south and then get back on the same road. And I ended up hitting a Chick-fil-A that was behind me. We passed on the way here just because I was starving, because I didn't expect to be out that long. Got my oil and everything I needed. And then I realized that my GoPro had cut out, so I lost the majority of the footage, which sucked, because I definitely think, I don't know, the first time I recorded this, it was just exactly what I was looking for. I was like, okay, that's a perfect first video. And now I have to do it again, and I really only get one attempt, because I'm not going to have enough time this weekend to do another one of these, and I didn't have enough time last weekend. That was Saturday, and then I'm like, okay, I just got to knock out a couple homework assignments. And then I realized what the homework assignments were, and it took me a very long time. I think I was planning on doing it Sunday, and I started up, I'm like, oh no, I should have started yesterday after I took that ride. And it took the entire day. It took the entire day, dude. I was doing homework till like 11 at night. So that'll probably be me again this weekend, unfortunately. It's cool. A few sailboats out there. Probably can't see that because I think it's too far away for the camera to pick up, but you get a really good view of the intercoastal over this bridge. Really nice. But anyways, this was Navarre Beach to Pensacola Beach, and probably terminating here at Bagel Heads. I don't think they're open. I don't know what time it is. They might be open. They might give me the weird look for showing up 10 minutes before they close, but we'll see. I don't know if that's clocks right. I'm not sure which lane we have to be in. It's kind of weird. Like there's a merge lane that comes onto this one, and you have to like merge into the merge lane in order to get to Bagel Heads. It's kind of a little bit dangerous. Definitely a pretty scenic ride. I don't take this as often as the Route 20 route that I take. I might be able to show you guys that one next weekend. And eventually I want to be able to get like some overlays and just kind of like show you the exact route on Google Maps or something like that, but I by no means have any video editing skills whatsoever. I literally just last weekend figured out how to pull out the audio from the GoPro and then put the audio that I'm recording on my phone right now into the video, so that'll probably come a few months down the road till I figure out how to do that. Well, anyways, this is Bobby from Florida Man Touring, and hopefully I'll be Back next week for another video if I can manage the time. And we're pulling up here on Bagel Head, so see you next time.